veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
Hey there. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back for Married at First Sight, San Diego, season 15, reunion part 2. How's everybody?
Hello, I am doing good. How about you?
I'm good. I'm finally getting that cough settled down and everything. I went out and got the Mucinex that our A-team member Roro recommended. So that's good and everything. I'm feeling great.
Okay, good. Sounds good.
Yeah. What did you think? What did you think just in general, just briefly? What did you think of this part 2 of the reunion? Did it any surprises there for you, or what did you think?
Yes, surprises for sure. Kind of relieved that we've come to the end. It seems like they drug it out a little bit. But yeah, I did have a few things that I was like, oh wow, I didn't expect that, especially between Justin and Alexis, but we'll get into it. So yeah, that was a surprise for me.
Right. I mean, even you remember I was asking last week, I was asking like what happened to the clip, which we finally find out this week. What happened to the clip where they had Stasha saying that she called somebody the B word, and I
Right.
couldn't figure out if she was talking about her own husband, was she talking about Justin, was she talking about Mitch, who was she talking about? Which we find that out too, what who it was.
Mm-hmm. We
Yeah,
found out. And I
found
was wrong
out.
on that one.
Yeah, what did you say? I don't remember. What did you say again?
I didn't think Mitch at all. I think I said either Justin or Nate. She was referring to one of them. So I didn't think Nate at all, even though that was his name, even amongst others.
I was wondering too because I was like, then I kept thinking, I said, well, she's not calling her own husband that, is she? I don't. I mean, like,
Right.
and is that a joking thing? Because in some places, culturally, some people do that. You know, some people in the community will call each other that. But I don't think she meant it quite that way. It wasn't like a girl
Right.
to girl, a woman to woman type of thing. I don't know. I could just never get that. Like, there's some things I don't really want to be called, right?
Right. No, I don't either. I don't call others that. I don't like to be called that. And I was just glad to see Stasha apologize so quickly about it, though. It
Yeah,
was good
yeah,
to
but
see
but
that.
but but I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna get into that because I thought I don't know if that apology was that a good apology when people start throwing the if into the apology. Is that really
No.
really good, or is that kind of a little kind of weakened when you throw the when you throw the if in there, like if I offended you,
Right.
if. But in the meantime,
Hmm.
we're going to go ahead and get into, we know we opened up with this couple here. That would be Justin and Alexis. And let's go ahead and kind of get back into them a little bit. They are interesting. So we see that Alexis' sister Amber and Justin's brother Darnell come out on the stage to during the reunion to actually chat about them and give their personal bird's eye view of what they heard and what they saw about what was going on in the marriage. And I kind of like that.
Hmm.
I kind of like that they brought out especially with these two people, because I always have been saying for most of this season that Alexis and then we find out Justin are unreliable witnesses, right?
Yes, very. And it's not one-sided. Both of them are liars. It's crazy.
I was trying not to use the L word, but yeah, they
Oh,
just
sorry.
have. No. That's fine. That's fine. I don't mind if you use it. I was just saying I'm trying to avoid because as I was doing the little notes and I did have that. I don't know. I think even my I think even my thumbnail actually has the L word in it, right? But I mean, I
Okay.
just find them, in writing, just in writing fiction or writing, even if you're doing a bio, you have what's called unreliable characters or unreliable
Ah,
perception, and that's what I just
okay.
call it. I just call it unreliable because, and to what you're saying, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Got
Um,
it.
the sister and brother. So what did you think of okay, let's start with the sister, Amber. What did you think of Alexis' sister, Amber? Was she fair giving her account of both of them? What did you think?
I think she was. She knows her sister. She saw her sister, I'm sure at this point on the screen how she acted, but I kind of felt like she wanted them to kind of stay together a little piece. It doesn't seem that she wanted Alexis
Oh,
to be 100% done. I
oh,
feel like
okay.
she got maybe a 50-50. Like maybe it was like, oh, maybe y'all could work it out, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it was honest. She looked beautiful. Her
Oh
sister Alexis,
God, was she gorgeous? The sister, I
yes,
didn't realize from seeing her before. I knew she was attractive, but I mean, she really came out there and wowed us for the reunion. She looked
right.
fabulous. They got some good
Yeah,
genes in their family. They have some really
they
good
do.
genes.
They
Mhm.
really do. But yeah, I think she gave a good assessment. Even Justin's brother, but do we have to say it because he had been saying it since day one that Justin was not ready for the process. So of course he was
Right.
right.
But now what I wanted to know a little bit more detail, yes, to get to him now. So Darnell, Justin's brother Darnell, he gave a good account, but what I wanted to hear more details about, and I don't know if we just didn't have the time or whatever. I wanted to know exactly why he thought that Justin was not ready. And see, I find that a
Hmm.
lot of people that have been watching the show have put all the onus on Alexis. She's this, she's
Right.
that. And I'm not disputing any of the things that some people are saying about her, except that I have to stand by this. If someone had paired you with the guy who looked like Justin, behaved like Justin, cried all the time like Justin, was
Mm.
immature like Justin, was not a good communicator like Justin. Like even the first thing, a major thing with them happened to be about their two dogs. Justin never communicated until after the fact that his dog had been involved in three earlier attacks. So I mean,
Right.
how do you forget that? One attack or one assault or one mishap or whatever, let's call it a mishap. One thing, maybe it was early on
Hmm.
when the dog was a little bitty puppy, but how do you forget three different separate events? That's
Yeah.
basically like you're being, like you said, that's basically you're being deceptive is what that is, in my opinion.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. That's not something you should withhold, and maybe that's what it was. He was trying to make Maya look, I don't know, better or harmless. But I just feel that you run that risk with any pet. That's what I've heard.
Mhm.
Just any pets can break out and attack. You just never know. And then too, I see a lot of people say that they did not introduce the dogs to each other properly. So both of them, once again, were
Mhm.
wrong.
Exactly, and that's why I say I feel like we had two people that were ill prepared for this relationship, for a serious, long-term relationship, to be living with another person.
Right.
And like you said, but getting back, even starting with just the dogs, a little small thing, and then I just have to kind of wonder. It's once again, I'm sorry, I gotta put some blame too. Take it off. You know, there's plenty of fault to go around, but I gotta say, Married at First Sight, do better. Like, where's
Yeah.
PETA? Where is PETA? Because if you guys they knew ahead of time from them filling out these 1,001 forms and 500 questionnaires, 500 questions. They knew they had pets. How come it couldn't have
Right.
taken somebody a simple Google search to know that you take dogs out to a mutual, out open space? They should both be on leashes, and it should be done
Hmm.
very slowly and gradually, like maybe 3, 4 times they meet before they even come into the same space together. How is it that nobody
Mm.
knew that? So I have to go beyond just Justin and Alexis and look at Married at First Sight. Married at First Sight
Yeah.
is not only doing a poor job with the marriages, but they're also doing a poor job with the pets.
No, you're right. That's true. Yeah, there should have been some type of, I don't know, hands on, but I guess like people say, maybe they are just doing this on purpose. I hate to say it,
Ooh, for
but
the drama. But like I said, where's Peter though? Because I tell you what, you can get people hurt, jacked up, bad marriages. But Peter, don't let a pet get hurt. Don't let a pet get bit.
right.
Don't let Peter should have been there. Peter, are you
Uh,
protesting now? I want to know. I want to know. Let's see. Let's see what Monique King is saying. She says Alexis tried 100 times harder than I ever would have. They would have sued me for breach of contract. Absolutely, Monique King. It couldn't.
mm,
All I can say is it couldn't have been me. I would have. No, I'm sorry, and maybe it sounds shallow. Love is not blind. I could not have with Justin, not only from his physicality, which is
mm-hmm,
one thing that I was not turned on by. Okay, let's just say that I was not turned on by his physical
right.
appearance. Okay, but it's to me, I think you could grow to be attracted to someone by their personality, their maturity, their good characteristics. And not saying that Justin doesn't have any good characteristics, but all that whining, the crying, the ineffective communication, the hiding of facts and information, that's a
Yeah.
no for me because that signals immaturity. He's
Mm-hmm.
emotionally unstable to me with all the crying. A lot of people saying, "Well,
Yeah.
he's just expressing himself." No, you express yourself as an adult and as a mature person. You express yourself with words. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you express yourself with words. That's how you do it. You don't sit up and cry, 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 cry. That's not what you do. Oh Lord,
Yeah.
night body back.
And then too,
Go ahead.
yes, oh yeah, and then too, I was glad to finally hear Alexis say that she tried to get over the not being attracted to Justin part because we
Right.
assumed all season, we've been going back and forth, and it's like, well, she couldn't keep her hands off of him at one point, and
Hmm.
how could she do all that without being attracted? But she finally said it. I was glad to finally hear her say it, and I bet she
Hmm.
was relieved to finally say that.
That say that that she was able to get past her not being attracted to him. Is that what you're saying? I'm sorry.
Yeah, because then she even said that, something along the lines like, I was never attracted to you. Like she flat out said it. So I was glad to actually hear her say it. I'm glad she didn't do like one of the guys from the past season where he just kept saying it all season every day. But it was
Yeah.
nice to finally hear her say that, hey, I wasn't attracted. I tried to get over not being
Hmm.
attracted to you. It, just didn't work. So I was like, oh, okay, go, Alexis. So now we get the truth. And then I think that leads us to how it
Hmm.
was so easy for her to act like they had not been intimate yet. I think that it
Mm.
was both of them playing games because maybe she could have been a little embarrassed.
Yeah, that's and I don't have that in my note cards, but thank you for bringing that up. That's a very interesting topic. I don't
Yeah.
know what in my mind. I still don't quite understand what happened or what I think happened. I
Yeah.
feel like maybe they did have now she's disputing that he said it happened so early in the early days of the honeymoon, the very first night. She seems to be
Right.
disputing that on the reunion, and yet I feel like um maybe there's something that did take place, but maybe
Hmm.
he didn't fully I hate to play with this, but I mean, like, I'm wondering, did he fully consummate? Did he
Right.
'cause he says he had been celibate or celibate for 2 years. So, you would kind of think maybe with the guy being celibate for 2 years that maybe,
Right.
it ended quickly. But I don't know. These two grown people, they seem to have varying disputes about what happened and when it happened. So what do you make of
Hmm.
that? What do you make of them
Well,
again being unreliable with their testimony?
Alexis did hint at he didn't last long. So I think that's what it was. Like you said, maybe he thought he was doing something because he was relieved, but she was like, no, you were not doing anything because I wasn't relieved. So I could kind of see still where they say, oh, we tried and it didn't work because he was satisfied, but she was not. Because, like you said, it had been so many whatever months, years, whatever, and he just was so ready and just exploded too fast. So that part I can kind of see where both of them could have a difference of opinion.
Mhm.
Just because maybe Justin is all like, "Oh yeah, it was good. I got what I came for," and Alexis was like, "Well, I didn't." So I could see how they could differ there.
Mhm.
But there were so many other stories though where it just didn't match up, like the phone conversation or the drunk texting. That was a mess. It's a big difference about whether or not she came there, and then just the different conversations they had during the season. I think it was just a bit much for them. I just don't know. I wanted Justin to
Mm.
pull up the receipts. I'm like, Justin, just bring up the text messages where she texts you.
Oh, when she
And
checks them, because I was gonna say, I was just about to ask you, how's he gonna have receipts from the hot and heavy time? Now listen, look at what Roro is saying on the screen. Would you like to read that, Kimberly?
okay. Yes, I think Justin had some kind of malfunction during hot and heavy time, and he didn't want her to tell it.
That's
I
kind of what
think,
I've been thinking for a while now.
okay.
I think that there's been some malfunction, and and the thing of it is that for it to happen, maybe a malfunction once or twice, because like I said, the whole celibacy thing, we could kind of understand that and give
Yeah.
grace. But after about the second time, I'm now beginning to wonder, there's something more going on than just the celibacy issue. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like after the
Mhm.
first, second time, like there are other things that grown men that are familiar with hot and heavy time that they know how to
Yeah.
do that would give them help build up their stamina and so forth and so on. I'm not going to get into all of that, but it's just kind
Mhm.
of odd to me. I think that Justin, a lot of people hit it early on when they said that Justin was very inexperienced, perhaps even a virgin.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree with the inexperience. I don't think virgin, but yeah, I think not
Maybe
experienced for sure.
okay, very low,
Yeah.
very very low on experience. So yeah, I mean, even if it's been a
Yeah.
couple or two times or whatever,
Mhm.
it certainly doesn't seem like he knows his way around the bedroom in the hot and heavy time.
Mhm.
It just doesn't. I'm sorry, it just does not reek
Right.
of that. Even his childish explanation on stage about what he did and how he did it, no sir,
Right.
no.
And then he wasn't even willing to learn because you can learn now. You if you're teachable, there are
Yeah.
so many avenues out here for us to learn. Dr. Pia, one, YouTube. I mean, I'm sure they got something over here on
Oh my
YouTube
goodness,
to
I'm trying to
teach
tell
you.
you, I was on Instagram and I saw some things. I was like, "Whoa!" And not in a
See?
overly like, not in a what's the word I'm looking for? Not in a very like professional way. There are things out there. I mean, we're living in the age
Yes.
now, a technological high knowledge age that if something you want to learn, you can you
Mhm.
don't even have to leave your home. If you got the internet, you can learn it. You can learn
Right.
more ways to do it, how to do it better. You can learn, like you said, if you're teachable. But if someone is walking around with all this bravado,
Yeah.
and I saw a little bit of that. I think we all saw a little bit of that from Justin, that like, like, well, I'm not changing. She's the one, each of these two people, Justin and Alexis, they find fault with one another, but what I find that they're very weak on as people, they're very weak on their introspection skills, looking at
Mhm.
self in the mirror, the man or the woman in the mirror, and saying, what could I do better? Because we all know
Right.
that you can't change how a person what they do, but what you can change is how you respond to it.
Mhm.
Oh,
Very true.
18 member and moderator extraordinaire Monique King says, yeah, hopping on WebMD after the second time. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, there's
Yeah.
just so many avenues. We're not gonna even hold you guys up with that. We're really not.
Right.
Um, we'll move on to, and I still have them coupled up. Of course, that's the way. We're gonna talk. Let's kind of talk a little bit about this couple here, or this person here, because we know that the women came out after they finished talking to Justin and Amber. We know that they had Kevin Frazier, the host of the reunion. He had the women all in a semicircle, and I wanted to ask you, what did you think of Lindy, of her a little bit of a back and forth with Stasha about her man and about the timing of her consenting and consummating her marriage? What did you think of that? That was kind of interesting to me.
It was, and I was one of the ones in the beginning saying I don't think Lindy was ready, and I don't think she fully agreed. She just did it to please Miguel. But Lindy is sticking to her. Yes, it was all her. But I was with Stasha because I was like, no, were you really ready? Is that what you really wanted to do? So I was on
Mm-hmm.
Stasha's side with that conversation. So I'm glad they circled, back around to it. Lindy is still agreeing. I still would not be surprised though if she came back later and said, okay, you guys were right, y'all called it, I wasn't ready, I didn't want to
I
do it.
really just wanted that health care insurance, and I didn't care how I went about getting it. You guys better leave me alone.
Right. Yeah, but I just don't feel like it. So I appreciate the conversation. I like Sasha stepping up and, coming to a friend with my air quotes saying, hey, is that what you wanted to do? We're here for you if it's not really what you wanted to do. And it's okay to say no if it's not what you wanted to do. So I like the conversation. I think it was great.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I'm a little leery about Lindy too. I'm going to say this real quick and we'll move on. I feel like it's almost as if when we see this couple and like I said the women are up on the stage at this point by themselves,
Hmm.
but I feel like the two of these people, Miguel and Lindy, have come to an agreement to cover one another if you follow what I'm saying. I
Oh,
feel like
yes.
they're really trying to do a PR campaign here. But we'll move on to Stasha and what was going on with this thing here. Let's see, hold on. Stasha calls Mitch the B word every day. I'm trying to
Mm,
figure out why that was allowed. Like in what universe? In what universe?
right. Yeah, that was very low. I felt for Mitch a little bit, seeing him hear that, and he said it did make him, a little down just to hear that, especially coming from Stasha. But my thing is, he said that he was surprised. So I don't know because, like I said, behind the scenes, a lot of people were calling him that. And so I'm not sure if he was just
Ah,
surprised that it came from Stasha or was he
uh,
surprised that people actually felt that way about him? Because
well,
I needed
yeah.
more details.
You're right. We needed more details because I was going to say, but they showed a few clips, and apparently she had said it to him because he responded and he answered.
Mm-hmm.
And then she even said at one point she even quipped, and I thought it was really kind of cruel. She said, you be," like
Yeah,
in his name in front of it, like Mitch, you be, the B word. Um,
very.
what I'm trying to understand. Okay, so all these people are couples at this point. He has a
Mm-hmm.
whole wife, which is Kristen. How in the heck is Kristen allowing another woman who has known him only as long they've all known each other about the same length of time? How are you
Mm-hmm.
allowing a woman outside of your marriage to call your husband the B word? Because there's no way anybody's going to be calling my husband the B word in front of me.
Unless she felt the same way. That's the only thing I could see that would let
Ooh,
it slide is that Kristen felt the same way and she was glad someone
ooh,
else said it and she didn't have to. Because I'm with
ooh.
you. If you call, no, you're not going to disrespect my husband in front of me, and then we're still friends and talking in the group chat every day. And no, so that's the only
Wow.
thing I can find to make sense of why she just let it go. Yeah. So that was a mess.
Oh,
It was very cruel.
very, very cruel and very messy. And once again, we're not getting a lot of direction from the so-called experts on these shows. Like that's bordering on a little bit of bullying, that's bordering on bullying. And I don't even know, um, I guess not even if
Hmm.
what's his name? Nate, Stasha's husband. Like he's
Yeah.
just he's culpable too. He's not as a man, he doesn't see anything wrong with this because most men, now I don't know about Nate, but most of the alpha men that I've dated, okay, they would have first, like if it were me, say put myself in her shoes,
Hmm.
they would have said, "Wait a minute, babe." They would have pulled me to the side. I mean, not saying they would have had to been loud about it or anything, but pulled me in a corner or just quietly said, "Hun, why are you calling a grown man out of his name? Now, what if he wanted to hit you? What if he wanted to call
Right.
you the B word back?
Right.
Then I'd have to defend you. Why don't you just squash that by just not starting it? You're saying you're starting problems here."
Yeah.
Uh, Roro for real says Kristen said that she wanted someone to call Mitch that. Really?
I missed
Wow.
that.
Wow. Yeah, I did too.
See,
I missed that.
see,
There was a
that's
lot going on. There was a lot going on as
hmm
I looked at the reunion, and I'm saying, wow, these people are saying, well, speaking of Kristen, there's another thing I want to talk about with Kristen. Why did Kristen still have her wedding band on? I know she said she switched it to her pinky finger. Is
mm,
Kristen have some kind of form of some kind of delusional syndrome? Somebody out there that's a psychologist or has a
right.
background in psychology. I don't know the term for it, but Kristen seems to be very delusional. Why are you still wearing this ring talking about it's a nice ring? You are a professional
hmm
businesswoman. You can go out and buy yourself a piece of jewelry that looks just like it or even better.
Right. Yeah, I think she's in denial. That's the best way I think to put it. She's hopeful. I don't know if we're moving on to her or not, but yeah, I'll keep it there for now. But yeah, she's in denial and has a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
too much hope for that
We'll move
relationship.
on to her next. We'll move on to her next. That's a good point. But I want to just read this real quick. Monique King says Nate should have told Stasha to stop, but he wants a place to stay.
Oh
So
gosh,
yeah, it's
that's a good
all about
point.
that warm, comfy place with the white carpet to stay in. So yeah, he wasn't gonna
You
say
gotta
anything.
watch your words if you don't want to be homeless, I guess.
I think they
Man.
all felt that Mitch was the BE. Nothing will make up for Mitch telling Kristen on the first day, right, that he was not attracted. Right. And there seems to be, Dundee, do you feel like there seems to be this thing going on with these women now as we talk about, because tomorrow we'll be doing, of course, another, some more episodes of Love is Blind. And we know that, fast forward to the end and without giving any spoilers away, some of these women, they come back with a vengeance. But what I don't understand is why can't you say in the moment? Why can't you say how you feel in the moment? You know what I'm saying? Why
hmm
can't you stand
Right.
up for yourself? I don't think that you should have a gang of women defending you when, unless this guy is physically, putting paws on you or something like that, which that was
hmm
never ever intimated or even assumed, right? So it's just that
Right.
you don't like the way he is. Maybe he's too much of a hippie. Maybe his feet are too dirty. He offended you by saying he wasn't attracted to you. To me, the easy out for that would have been, okay, next. Like, I'm
hmm
done. You tell me you're not
Right.
attracted to me. My mom always said a man shouldn't have to tell you something twice. Like, why does he
Yes,
have to
I
tell you
agree.
twice that he's unattracted to you? You ain't got to tell me twice. Bye. Because
Nope.
I
And
know
I
I'm
think she just was right. Confidence. She was just holding
confident.
on to she was probably thinking it was going to grow.
I'm sorry.
His,
Your voice is
she
going in and out. What did you say again?
he
Kimberly, are we there?
would
Uh-oh.
fall in
Kimberly.
love
Uh-oh. Kimberly,
eventually
we're having some issues, some audio issues. Uh-oh.
with her personality, but I don't think that always works with men. Women
Kimberly, I'm really having a hard time hearing you. I don't know if you want to drop down and come back, um, because your audio on my end, I can't hear a word of it. Guys, if you're in the chat, drop you can hear or not hear in the chat if you can hear Kimberly. And if you can hear me, let me know, please. Because we seem to be having some audio issues. But yeah, I think, yeah, delusional, getting back to 18 member Roro says, delusional sounds right. Yeah, I definitely feel like that Kristen has some issues. But Monique, you took me out with this one. Wait a minute. Monique King says, I don't have a psychology degree, but I watched Frasier. Girl, that was my show. That was my show. That was my show. You watched Frasier and you said Kristen needs help. She needs Dr. Frasier on stat. Come right away. Hi, hey there, High Vibe. High Vibe is saying hey to everybody in the chat. Hey there, Alyssa. What's going on, girl? What's going on? Bring all that information over here because Alyssa stays in that research. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Okay, looks like she's back. Okay, let me get her back up here. Hold on, guys. All right, Kimberly, you got your mic off mute?
Yeah, hopefully it's better now.
Oh, okay. Yes, yes, yes. We can hear you now. We can hear you now because it was just kind of going in and out. Yeah, and I'm sure you were making some great points, but I was only getting like every fifth
Okay,
word. But
gotcha.
we were saying about Kristen. I think we were saying something about Kristen if she was delusional. Kristen with
Right.
Mitch. What were your thoughts on Kristen and Mitch?
Yeah, I said I think a nice word is maybe she's just in denial and holding on to hope that maybe the attraction would grow. But we do see that happen oftentimes with men, women, and men. They'll grow the attraction between the male, I guess. Women will say, "Oh, I wasn't attracted to him when I first saw him, but we went on a few dates and I liked his personality and it grew." But I don't see that happen oftentimes with men where they say, "Oh, I wasn't attracted to her, and then we had a conversation and then fell in love." But I think that's what I
Exactly.
guess
Yeah.
Kristen was trying to hold on to.
Yeah, I think she thinks that. I guess she hasn't got the memo, which I guess I thought most women know this about men and the way their makeup is that men, they must be physically attracted to you. We know that here on YouTube, Janice Hilton, who talks about this all the time, says it herself
Hmm.
that she believes that men have to be physically attracted to you. I don't know if the numbers have to be like if they think you're a 10 or not. I'm not saying that, but I think there has to be a
Right,
certain level. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna at least say maybe you got to be at least in their minds at 8. You know what I'm saying for them.
right.
Like and the 8 may not may be different and varies from person to person, from man to man, right? But they have to be attracted.
Hmm.
Women, we're much more evolved. We can look at a man and see that he's clearly a 6 on a scale of 1 to 10, and we can see that. But when we meet him and get to know his character, he's reliable, he's honest, he's trustworthy, he's a reliable witness and not an unreliable witness. We can begin to give him, from his characteristics, he's hardworking, has a good job. We can begin to see him as a 10, over time. But men don't have that same
Yes.
ability. They're just not as evolved as us. I'm sorry. I just don't
Hmm.
feel that
Yeah, and
they
I
are
think that's
evolved.
what. Right.
Mhm. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think Kristen was thinking that she could change him or persuade him, but it didn't happen. It just didn't.
Mhm. Yeah. I'm struggling with this, so that even if she felt whatever kind of way about Mitch, I am still struggling with the lack of integrity that she would have to have, in my opinion, to allow other people outside of her to call him outside of his name. I'm struggling with Mitch. Even allowing people to call him outside of his name. Like, I don't know what his experience has been in school, if he was bullied, and if he's accustomed to this, because I would have a hard time being in a situation at work or in another environment where people are calling me out of my name. That's not going to work for me, really. But as his wife, as somebody that's supposed to be in
Yeah,
relationship with him, I just don't understand how she could have allowed it. I mean, even if she didn't like him, she should not have allowed that. She should have said, "Guys, you know what? That's okay. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. He and I will iron
yeah,
out our differences one on one."
right. But I just think it spoke to her true feelings.
Yeah, somebody said that. You said that earlier. You know what? And I think you're right. I think that it was an easy out for her. Um,
Hmm.
Oh no, I didn't see that. Alyssa is saying, did y'all see that Miss Michelle Obama says that she watches Married at First Sight too? I did not see that. Where did you see that?
Wow.
You'll have to let me know because I need to grab that. I think that's an ex that's excellent. See there,
Right.
everybody's got their guilty pleasure.
Yes. And I
Everybody,
think
and
it's a great show.
it is. It's definitely like you said. We learn something from it every season, be it good or bad. We learn something every season from this show right here. I'm gonna see what is our another ticker that we have, and then we're gonna move on. Justin and Nate arguing again. They're arguing. Nate won't seem to let Justin get a word out edgewise, which I found to be actually a little bit annoying at this point.
Yeah.
Like, why are you still picking with Justin? See, here once again,
Right.
so maybe Stasha gets to do the bullying, and so does her husband Nate, if you think about it.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
Stasha's bullying Mitch, and Nate is busy over here bullying Justin, by not letting he get a word out. And we already know. Yeah, you said he's a crybaby. Okay, we get it. He does cry quite a
Mhm.
bit. Okay, we get that. But when he's talking, is it okay to just let this man speak? Is that okay?
Right. Right. Yeah, and I didn't like how Stasha tried to correct them, and we're like, both of you stop. Well, no, Nate was really the aggressor in that situation because Justin was talking and Nate kept interrupting him and then throwing jabs. And then I never been the type to like when people come in and try to address the whole group when one or two people are messing up. Address that person. So in that moment, I feel Stasha should have addressed Nate, but like you said, she just was fine with him being the bully. I'm glad you said it just like that because it's
Yeah,
so true.
yeah. You know what? And I did notice that, to your point. I did notice that she said, both of you stop it. And I'm like, but
Right.
Justin is not doing anything. So you're really, and she knew when she said that. And I don't know if you caught it, but when she said that, if you caught the look on Alexa's face, because Alexis was gobsmacked. Alexis was like,
Hmm.
what? What are you saying? Both of them? It's your
Right.
husband's the one that's in the wrong.
Yep.
You could just see it on her face. She didn't say anything. I'm saying, I'm just putting words in her mouth. Okay, all right.
Hmm.
That's what I'm doing. But you could tell from the look on Alexa's face that even though, yes, she may not want him to be her husband anymore. Okay, but still, fair is fair. How are you saying calling both of them out when actually
Right.
it's your husband the one that's overreacting?
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Thanks,
Yeah, I
Alyssa.
feel
Alyssa.
Nate was
Mhm. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I feel Nate was wrong in this situation, though. Just to answer the question, I
Hmm.
feel that he should have just let Justin be, but it was like he just wanted to attack his character. He just wanted to keep talking about him crying a lot or being in touch with his emotions, whatever you want to say. But Nate should have just let it be. And it feels like their bond, or Nate is upset because their bond is broken, or maybe Nate wanted to be closer to Justin than they are
Maybe
because
he
it just
did.
seemed.
Wink, wink, cause no, I've already lost one subscriber. She got very upset with me. She said, "What was it?" She said,
No.
"She said that, yeah." And she wrote it. She said, "I never left a channel so fast, laughing my a off or whatever." And my thing is, here's the thing. You know what? And I really love all of my subscribers, all of our chat family, all of our members. I really do. But if you come to a channel for commentary and then you don't like the commentary and you decide to unsubscribe, who
Yeah.
am I to say? Who am I to say? Because guess what? At the end of the day, it's my opinion, and I could be wrong. I'm willing to admit if something comes out later and I'm wrong. But yeah,
Yeah.
I said what I said last week about that, and I'm standing on it 10 toes down. I feel like there some of what I know a lot of people are saying, no, 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 he's manly. He said he's Nate said that he's comfortable with his sexuality. He never claimed, denied, confirmed, or denied anything, did he?
Mhm.
He said,
No,
I'm
he did not.
comfortable. I listen at the words that come out of people's mouths. He said, I'm
Right.
comfortable. He said, I'm
Right.
comfortable in it. Okay, so
And
that
he
didn't tell
never denied.
whether he was bi, tri, qui. I mean, hey, I'm not mad at him. It's his
Right.
sexuality. It don't have nothing to do with me, because trust me, I'll never be with this guy. Okay, so
Yeah. Yeah,
don't
I
get
agree. It
upset
didn't come off like that last week. We all said what we had to say. Like you said, we just speak on what we see, and that's what
with
we saw. Nate was a little too in his feelings about Justin
he was
unfollowing him. Why would you be so concerned with a grown man
way
unfollowing you? Just keep it
way too
moving.
way too concerned. And I'm telling you, even before all of this that was said at the reunion, I had my questions. I said it, and I guess she didn't like it. I said that every season, pretty much, that I've seen Married at First Sight, there's always been at least one guy that I felt like was questionable. Now, that's just me
Mm,
saying that. I'm not saying that doesn't make it true, but I'm saying that they just seemed a little, what's the word we decided to use? A little fluid. Let's say that word. A
yes.
little
Yep.
fluid, because I don't want to use anything. I have nothing against people who are homosexual or bisexual. I have nothing at all against them. I
Right.
love all of God's children. I love them all. Okay, but
Yes.
let's be real. In a time where women are getting caught up and getting catching diseases from people because they think that this person is straight and they're not,
Mm-hmm.
let's not ladies, let's not dig our head in the sand because that's just crazy to me. I'm sorry. That's just crazy.
Right.
But
Yeah.
you gave
This
your
is a good question Alicia
mhm.
has up.
Oh yeah, let me see. Let me get that. What's oh yeah. Yeah, I wanted to address that because we're kind of going backwards now. But Alyssa, yeah, no, Stasha was calling Mitch that the whole way through the season, apparently. They
Right.
edited it out, but at the
Yep.
reunion part two, they showed many cases of her calling him the B word, which makes sense because think about it. How do we, as the viewers and as the bloggers, how do we get Mitch the itch? We'll put the B on front of itch, right? How do we even get
Mm-hmm.
that? We got that from Stasha, apparently, right? She was saying that
Right.
the whole time, all season long, in front of his wife, in front of him, and that's why we're questioning. How did nobody stop that? How did Mitch not say anything? Maybe he did. Maybe he just tried to play it cool. How did Stasha's husband not say anything to her? That's not how you talk to another man. Because could you
Right.
imagine if you were another kind of man, like let's say Zoe from Ready to Love? Could you imagine if that was Zoe from Ready to Love
Ooh.
and she called him that?
No.
I don't think so.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
it's just kind of crazy that a grown woman would talk to a grown man like that and think that that's okay. And Stasha's a very professional woman, so I don't know. I don't know what they do on
Mm-hmm.
these people do on their jobs, but that's an HR issue right there.
Yes.
Roro
Yes.
says Nate acted like what? Oh, like he had a vendetta. Yes, against Justin. Exactly.
Yep.
I wonder what really happened. Exactly.
Me
They
too,
ain't,
Roro,
they,
because something
they ain't
happened.
right. They ain't fooling me. That's exactly what I'm saying, and people don't see it. They just seeing what they
Mhm.
want to see. They're being unreliable. They're being unreliable in their testimony because they're not admitting that there's something a little bit off about those two men about their interaction. Alyssa says
Mhm.
Nate responded to that short man comment because Nate is 6'2". He's tired of. Oh
Oh.
yeah. Now okay, good point. That's a good point that you bring up. I did notice that Justin said that Nate had short man syndrome, and I'm looking at Nate and I'm like, Nate's gotta be because I got my son is 6'4", right? His
Mhm.
father is 7 feet tall, so I know about tall men. I'm looking at
Wow.
Nate, and even though he's on TV, I can tell he's at least 6 feet. So there's nothing short about him by American standards. But because
Mhm.
Justin is what, like 6'8", almost 7 feet himself, of course he can look at pretty much any other man and say short man, right? But yeah, that's cap. That's cap right there. What do you
Well,
think?
yeah,
What
I've
do you?
heard it other ways too. Like, you could tell people like, "Oh, you act like a skinny girl, or you act like a big girl," and it's not really that that person fits the description. It's just the
Oh,
way they act. So I think Justin was just saying Nate was insecure, like a short man. I
ah,
don't think he was really attacking the height. Or people
okay.
say, "Oh, you act like a black girl, you act like a white girl," and they're
Oh,
not that
okay.
race.
Okay, now that's I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying that people can have that. Even like kind of makes me think of like people have had bariatric surgery or lost a lot of weight, maybe lost over
Yes,
100 pounds, and looking
exactly.
on the outside looking good, looking like tight,
Yes,
like size
yeah,
8, size 10, or whatever, and all the curves in all the right places, but may still have a feeling of in their mind or perception of being bigger, so they
yes.
kind of carrying that big girl energy still or that big guy
Mm-hmm.
energy. I see what you're
Right.
saying. And look at what Monique King for the lady that left me, and Monique is very experienced on these YouTube streets. Am I right, Monique? Am I right? She very experienced. Every time I go
Wait,
on a podcast, she's always on all of them. She
wait.
says
This
that
is
Bennett. I just heard about this. Bennett from season I don't know whatever Married at
yes.
First Sight, New
We
Orleans.
all know Bennett.
He left the show, was married to the doctor lady of all things. He married a woman that was about to be a doctor, who's now is a doctor, and he's now
Wow.
with a man. So, like I said, you can't tell me what my eyes and my
Thank
observations are
you.
seeing in some of these men that are fluid, bi, tri, whatever the heck they are. I see what I
Mm-hmm.
see, and I've been around a little bit to know some things. So I'm not new at this. I'm true to this. Okay,
Yes.
you
Exactly.
know.
And we're not saying we don't like the person, whatever. That's
Ah,
their life. We're just calling it how we see it.
calling it how we see it, and that's our jobs as commentators. I don't have a
Yep.
problem with Nate, whatever he is, because like I said, personally, I'm never gonna be with him, so I don't really care. I don't really care. But I
Hmm.
think that women today who are out there that are who are still actively dating need to at least be aware that some of these men are not as they seem. Nate was
Hmm.
re-asking about the unfollowing because he was refusing to answer Kevin's question about it. He knew that I guess Justin had unfollowed everybody. Well, yeah, but I mean, but why keep asking about it? I don't get it, Alyssa. I don't get that. It was important for you to be the host, for Nathan to try to be the host all of a sudden, and just keep asking that question to Justin. There, to me, in my mind, and like I said, I'm willing to be wrong, but in my mind, it feels like there was more to that. You asked the
It
question once,
was.
maybe twice. I mean, if I were to go back and count on the first episode of the reunion part one, how many times Nate actually asked that question? I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guesstimate that it was at least a half a dozen times. That's a lot of. I'm usually not gonna ask a person a question more than twice because I really don't
Right.
care. Unless you're paying my bills and I'm like, well, why didn't you pay my mortgage this month? I'm not gonna ask you that question more than twice. It's not
Right.
that
Oh,
serious. And I know Nate's a millennial, and for these kids that apparently social media is like a whole big deal, like Instagram being a followed, unfollowed, Facebook. Who cares? Is it paying your
mm-mm.
bills? Are you getting
Nope.
anything out of it? What are you getting out of it, Nate? Really? I'm following you on
Nothing.
YouTube, by the way, Nate. So come on over here and do an interview with me, okay? and tell
Uh-oh, I
and
love
tell us
it.
and tell us what's really going on in your life. Tell us a
Hmm.
little more. Let's explore the sexuality question a little bit more, okay?
Yes.
Uh,
Hmm.
and we're gonna get ready to wrap things up. Let me see. I've got a couple more banners here that I want to explore. Um, what did you think about when Morgan was on stage and she said, and this is Morgan, the nurse, of course, said that
Hmm.
Mitch put Kristen through hell and back and that he was not offering much in their marriage. What did you think about that, Kimberly?
I think it was a stretch, but I can see where she was coming from. Because Mitch really did. It's like he played the strings long enough to get what he wanted out of Kristen, like the hot and heavy time. He didn't let
Hmm.
enough just to
Like
get
a
her
lot
in
of
the
men.
bedroom.
Like a lot of men
Exactly.
will want to have the hot net. Who is it? You will we go to Love Is Blind and you see the men. I don't know if you've been watching that show, but there's this fella called Bartiz, and there's this woman that he matched up with named Nancy, and he apparently wanted the hot and heavy time with her, so he didn't really care that he wasn't so attracted to her. And then later on, it starts to come out that he's not. Men don't really care. They don't really
Nope.
care. Like, they may not want to be with you forever because you're not super attractive, but when it comes to hot and heavy time, they will do
Hmm.
it. They will do it because,
Right.
hey,
And
you know.
and Kristen was a willing participant. So no, I don't agree that Mitch put her through hell and back because Chris was right there. Kristen was right there the whole time, willing and just wanting Mitch's attention. She wanted this and so much more from Mitch. And even when he didn't give it to her, or even he let her know, no, I'm not willing to do that. I'm not interested in doing whatever. And she was still just there holding on to her hope. So she signed up for the attention and everything that Mitch gave her. She was there the whole time and never gave up. Even when she said, "This is my no, I'm leaving," she went back. So
Yeah.
it's not all Mitch's fault.
Yeah, she repeatedly went back. That's why I said I'm not sure if she's delusional or what's really going on with Kristen. But when she gets a chance, these women and men who say that I'm not changing and I have no regrets, you should have regrets, because if you actually want to be matched up with somebody in a healthy relationship, there's something that's
Yeah.
going on that it's not sticking. These relationships are not working. There's something going on with Kristen that she could pick out a couch surfer that she self-proclaimed this guy was a couch surfer, and she took all of her money out of savings to have a wedding with a couch surfer. Really?
No, absolutely
Really?
not.
this is what we're doing now. Professional women, boss chicks. We're getting couch surfers that live in the building where a friend of ours lives, and you say, "Oh, there's a dude. Oh, where do you live at? Oh, I live in that apartment. I'm couch surfing. Oh yeah, let's get into a relationship and let's get married." Like, really? Are things that tough in
Hmm.
California? I don't know.
I doubt it.
I don't know. I'm
And that's a
lost.
good point there too. That's
Tell
a
the
good
one.
point there too. I think we need to
Oh, what's
stop
that?
limiting ourselves to our state.
Oh, well, wait a minute. What's your plan? What's your plan? Like, do you date online? I'm now I'm curious. 'Cause I'm not dating, so I don't know. But just if a friend wanted to know for a friend, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
how would you go about doing it? Let's say you're in, let's say, Michigan, like I am. My
Hmm.
friend, I got friends in Michigan. Let's say
Hmm.
let's say you wanted to do that. How would you go about dating outside of your state? How would you do that?
Oh yeah, I believe 100% that you should travel. You can go to other cities and just be seen, go out, be around the areas where the singles go. It's not hard to find kind of like the local bars. You can go to museum events, and I support 100% online dating. Yes, I am a
Mm.
huge advocate for online dating, but like I said, just travel, and speak to people when you go to these other cities, other states. Smile and
Oh.
flirt. Don't be
You know
open.
what? You
Don't just
are
stay
you
home.
are a true. I just learned this term the other day. Have you heard the term, the acronym GRITS? You are a true GRITS. You are true GRITS. You know what that is?
Yes, right.
What it,
Yes.
tell the people what the acronym GRITS stands for.
Oh man. Oh, you got me.
Girl, girl raised in in the
Ooh, wait.
in the
Now I got
South.
another one.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Well, I just heard this the other day. And I'm trying to remember what I was watching, but it was so good. It's girls raised in the South. You are a true grits like
Mm-hmm.
my mother, like a Southern Belle, like just like think of Belle Collective or Southern Belle or
Yes.
Southern graciousness. Because what you just said, my mother always taught me, even though I grew up in Detroit as a child, my mother always taught me to speak to everyone, black, white,
Mm-hmm.
whatever race, whatever creed, whatever religion. I was
Mm-hmm.
taught to speak, and I still do that to this day. Um, and I've always told my girlfriends I've never had trouble dating or meeting a fellow because
See?
I'm genuinely always speaking to people, and it's not like I'm trying to flirt with everybody. It's just that's what I
Right.
do. And then the men that are available or interested, they find that as an avenue because once you speak to someone, they have to. Well, they don't have to speak back, but if they're interested, they will speak back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've never had a dry spell with dating unless I just wanted to take time off, which I have over time. But
Yeah.
I think that's interesting what you're saying. We're gonna have to do maybe a whole nother show about that because what I wanted to know is okay. So after you meet them in their long distance, how do you keep up? Like, let's say you actually really like the person. How do you keep up with that? How do you develop the
Oh,
relationship?
oh, yes, all this technology, you can video chat, you can do virtual dates. There are just so many if you want to now. If you want to keep the relationship going, there's no excuse with the technology that we have as far as video, text, and calls. Meeting even halfway if that's your choice, or going the whole way. There are so many deals and discounts on flights. The possibilities are truly endless. So I think that the
True.
two people have to be willing to. And I date multiple. So it's no excuse, if I can find
I am
time
waiting
to
for
date.
my invitation to your wedding. You've been dating, and I heard you had multiple proposals or an offer on the
Mm-hmm.
table for your hand in
Yep.
marriage. So I want
Yep.
be sure to send me my wedding invitation because I'm very
I
excited for you.
will.
I'm glad to see that there are women that are using the ideas, not only that you're saying, but that Janice Hilton has been saying at her
Mm-hmm.
coaching, her Janice Hilton coaching and mentoring, that women should date multiples, not saying sleeping with, but just dating multiples,
Right.
and that we should be
Yes.
collecting data, ladies. If we're going to date these guys, you need to
Mm-hmm.
collect data about them. And one last thing I want to say, it sounds kind of random, but you should not marry a guy, move in with a guy until you have seen him angry. You need to
Yes.
see this
Oh
man
yes.
angry to see how he behaves when he's angry.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I
So
agree 100%. So yeah, I'm just Kristen, because that's how we got here. Kristen, date outside. Go outside and stop getting these couch surfers.
Yes, yes. I mean, find a man. Who is it? I think it was Alex was saying to me the other day that and of course Jeremy Speaks says this all the time too. Hypergamy, marry and date
Hmm.
up, marry and date up above
Hmm.
your station, above your level in life, or at least equal to. Like, who is it
Hmm.
that's dating somebody? You got a full job, a full degree, a full career, and you're dating a bum that's a couch surfer?
Oof.
That's
Something
only
is not adding up.
that's
Something's
only
missing.
Yeah, there's something in the buttermilk there. Like, that's anyway. But guys,
In the
tell the
buttermilk.
guys how to find you. Let me put your information up on the screen. Tell all our viewers how to find you, what you're doing, what you
Thank
got coming
you.
up this week on your channel.
Yeah, so thank you so much for the opportunity. I always enjoy coming over here with you all and chatting and reviewing. But you can find me on YouTube, Kimberly Reviews, same thing on Facebook. I'm growing my Facebook page, doing great. Thank you all for the support. Also, Kimberly Reviews
Awesome.
underscore. And I just launched my membership on my YouTube channel. So I'm excited about that. And that's going to make me do even more now because I feel the pressure. But we review Married at First Sight. Thank you. We watch and review shows like Married at First Sight, Ready to Love. I also love to travel. I also have budgeting videos. So just make sure you check everything out, subscribe, like, and share. Thank you so much for the opportunity again.
Oh, awesome, 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 awesome. Kimberly, I just thank you so much for coming over here, for collaborating with me. I look forward to coming over to your channel and doing some collaborations when you're ready. As you know, I think a lot of these
Yes.
shows are kind of on hiatus until January, it looks like. When Put a Ring
Right.
will be coming back
Yes.
on, Ready to Love will be coming back on. One of my faves, Love and Marriage DC, will be coming back on their own network. And also, I think, what's the show? Gosh, it's escaping my mind right now. I think it's another show on OWN. I said Put a Ring on it,
The
but there is
Bell
another.
Collective one.
Yes, yes, thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm looking forward
Mhm.
to that because I like the new characters they added this last season that we just had. I think that show is going to
Okay.
be fire. I think that have you
Nice.
been following it or covering that one?
I only support you all who do the reviews. I come over here and chat and listen to what's going on through you all. But no, I do not watch that one
You you may have to
faithfully.
check that one. You may have to check that one out, sis, because that's a really good one, and that I think that's only
Okay.
going to blow up in stature this coming season.
Ah,
So please make
okay.
sure. And guys, I'm putting my information. And wait a minute. Before I do that, let me just say, let me show this, and let me say this. We want to welcome you to the family, Kimberly Reviews. We want to welcome
Yay!
you. Where's my machine at? As soon as I put it down, welcome to the A Team.
Thank
Thank
you. I feel
you.
so special now. I feel part of the family.
You are indeed, my dear. You are part of the family, and we are happy to have you. Guys, we want to thank, especially we want to thank our moderators and members extraordinary, Ellen V. Monique King are
Mhm.
always here and keeping the chat safe, and we thank you so much. They are such wonderful moderators and members. We want to thank you, and Monique, I don't know how you do it. I don't know when you sleep, but you're all over on Auntie's advice. You're everywhere. You are just everywhere.
Yes,
I love
she
it.
is.
We want to thank you guys for tuning in, for watching the video. Please like the video if you haven't already. Share us with your friends. Share it out on your social media. Share it with your friends through messaging. Let them know if they watch Mafs. And we also tomorrow will be covering Love Is Blind, guys. Please come back and see us tomorrow at 7 o'clock. We're on our way out. Say goodbye, Kimberly.
Bye. Take care.
Take care, everybody.